All right, so we're diving into AI and SaaS products today, and you
Hmm.
sent over this really interesting article from Standard Beagle Studio.
Right.
And it seems like you're really looking for more than just the hype.
Yeah.
You want like the real actionable insights, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to unearth those for you today and maybe even throw in a little bit of a surprise with
Okay.
an interesting parallel to a certain 90s toy that you might remember.
Really? Okay. Well, it's funny you should mention that because the article actually uses that exact comparison.
Oh.
Tickle Me Elmo. Remember
Yeah.
that whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
People were going crazy for this toy that basically just giggled.
Parents battling it out in the aisles, empty shelves, the whole nine yards.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the connection to AI, though? I'm curious.
Well, they use it as like a cautionary tale.
Okay.
Just like slapping AI on a product just because it's trendy is a recipe for disaster
Right.
and a flop. So they're really emphasizing that to have real success with AI, you need a structured approach, and it has to be user-centric.
Okay, so it's about having that strategy, not just chasing after the shiny new thing.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
The article also talks a lot about understanding user needs
Yes.
before you even think about AI.
Absolutely. That's key.
Right,
You have to do your research, right?
right.
And they specifically call out qualitative research, like in-depth interviews,
Okay.
to actually guide that whole process of developing and implementing AI.
So you really need to dig deep and find out what problems you're actually trying to solve.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about uncovering pain points that users don't even realize they have.
Right, exactly. You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Okay, you've got a good understanding of these needs, but then the article goes on to emphasize another crucial element, which is data.
Oh, absolutely.
And not just any data, high quality data.
Yeah, they even use that classic phrase, garbage in, garbage out. If you're using bad data to train your AI models,
Mm.
you're going to get unreliable results.
Yeah.
And it could even be harmful.
So it's really about the foundation. The data is the foundation.
Exactly. It's the foundation upon which you build everything else.
So how does this work in the world of SaaS, though?
Yeah,
Because it's not like we're talking about these massive data sets necessarily, are we?
right. And that's where information architecture comes in.
Okay.
It's about how you organize and structure and manage your data.
So even on a smaller scale, that's still important.
Critically important, you've got to think of it like you're creating a really well-organized pantry
Okay.
for your AI chef.
Got it.
If it's all a jumbled mess, your AI can't make anything good with it.
Okay, so we've got our strategy. We've dug deep into user needs, and we're building on this foundation of well-organized data.
Right.
What's next? What's the next step?
Well, that's where the AI magic comes in, right?
Okay.
But the magic has to be carefully considered. The article really stresses that transparency and control are super important, especially when you're integrating AI into a SaaS product.
Which is interesting because we always hear about AI as this like black box, right? Like behind the scenes algorithms are making all these decisions and we just have to kind of trust that it's all going to work out.
Exactly. And the article actually talks about that.
Okay.
It says that this lack of transparency can be a big barrier for people
Yeah, that makes sense.
because people are hesitant to embrace something that they don't understand.
Right, especially when it starts making decisions for you.
Exactly.
So how do you make AI more transparent then?
Well, it's about giving users a peek behind the curtain.
Okay.
So, for example, instead of just giving a user an AI-generated recommendation, you could explain why the AI made that suggestion.
Okay.
Show them the data points that were used
That's a good point.
so they understand what went into the decision.
Yeah, I can see how that would build trust.
Right.
Like if I understand why the AI is doing something, even if I don't understand all the technical stuff,
Exactly.
I'm more likely to trust it.
Yeah. It's about moving away from this idea of AI as like this mysterious force
Right.
and making it more of a tool that people can understand
Okay.
and control.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So you're saying we need to be able to control the AI too.
Absolutely. The article talks about giving users agency.
Okay. What does that look like in practice?
So let's say you're using an AI-powered marketing automation tool.
Okay.
It might be helpful for the AI to suggest email subject lines.
Right.
But
It's just a suggestion.
Right, the user should always have the final say.
Yeah, they should be able to edit them or write their own.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
It's all about finding that balance between AI assistance and user autonomy.
Right. You don't want to take away that control.
Exactly. And that actually ties into another important point. AI implementation isn't just a one-time thing.
Okay.
It's not something you just set and forget about.
So you're constantly like checking in on it and making sure it's working how you want it to.
Exactly. It's an ongoing process of monitoring, analyzing, and iterating.
Okay, so you need to be tracking how it's performing and making adjustments along the way.
The article actually uses Spotify's recommendation system as an example.
Okay, how so?
It's constantly learning from your listening habits
Yeah.
and refining its recommendations.
Oh, yeah.
And it works.
It does work, I'll admit that.
How many times have you been surprised by a song Spotify suggested?
All the time.
And it makes you feel like Spotify knows your taste in music better than you do.
Right. Which, I mean, that's kind of cool, but it's also a little bit weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
This whole idea that AI might know me better than I know myself.
It's fascinating and a little creepy at the same time, right?
Right.
But it speaks to this bigger idea of AI curating our experiences.
Okay.
So Spotify recommending music, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But what about AI shaping, like, our news feeds or even our social connections?
Right, like influencing what we buy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, are we really in control, or are we just letting algorithms make all these decisions for us?
And that's a question that comes up a lot in the SaaS world.
Oh, absolutely.
Because these are tools that businesses are using every single day to get work done.
Right. So think about the potential impact.
Right.
If a SaaS product is using AI to personalize the user experience,
Yeah.
that could shape everything from the features they use the most to the information they see.
Right. It could be really powerful,
Yeah,
but it could also be used to manipulate people.
exactly. There's always that risk.
Like without even realizing it,
Yeah.
you could be steered towards certain decisions.
And that's why this whole thing about transparency and control is so important.
Right. Give users a choice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to understand how these systems work
Yeah.
so we can decide how much control we're actually comfortable giving up.
It feels like we're at a crossroads with AI.
I think so too.
Like it has so much potential.
Yeah,
It could be amazing,
right.
but we have to be really careful about how we use it.
We have to be thoughtful
Yeah.
and ethical.
Because ultimately it's a tool,
It is.
and it's up to us to make sure it's used for good.
Exactly. And that brings us back to what the article was saying about having a user-centric approach.
Right. Focus on the people using it.
Exactly. Make sure there's transparency and control, and always be looking for ways to improve.
So to wrap things up, I think the big takeaway here is that navigating the world of AI requires us to be curious,
Definitely.
to ask questions, and to be maybe even a little bit skeptical.
Absolutely. Don't just blindly trust the AI.
Don't be afraid to question how it works.
Exactly. Remember, it's a tool.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll leave you all to ponder this evolving relationship between humans and algorithms.
That's a good place to leave it.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And keep questioning the AI-powered machines.
That's right. Thanks for listening, everyone.